Totally unacceptable.
No, okay, I don't know if you're being serious, right? That was a very interesting tone you had there. Janet Napolitano and the Department of Homeland Security is facing 2 lawsuits because Janet Napolitano is being accused of creating a hostile work environment. Now, this is very interesting because oftentimes when we hear about hostile work environments, it's because male employers will do something to harass female employees, and then we hear about those lawsuits. It's very common. However, in this case, the people who filed the lawsuit were men who claimed that the hostile work environment included sexually charged games intended to humiliate and intimidate the male employees. Now, it brings up a very interesting issue because whenever a guy complains about a hostile work environment, he's immediately pawned off as weak. And is that acceptable?
Totally unacceptable.
No, okay, I don't know if you're being serious, right? That was a very interesting tone you had there. But it's interesting to see that as more and more women gain positions of power in certain workplaces, all of a sudden the dynamic is changing, right? And for a long time people thought, oh, only men can sexually harass women. It's not as common when it happens to men, but it happens on both sides.
Look, let's keep it real. Okay, so is it unacceptable? Of course it's unacceptable. Of course you shouldn't do it, right? And and if a guy complains about it, he's got all the right in the world to complain about it, etc. But like, as a guy, I think like if I had a really hot boss who just kept wearing like kind of tight clothing, etc., and kept coming on to me when I was single and making me uncomfortable by cornering me in the office, that might not be so bad, right? Now, of course, not all the bosses are hot. I know, right? But no, seriously, it's not about actually coming on to you, because that's way crossing the line as it is anyway. But if they're kidding around about sex and it creates a hostile work environment, bad Jenk is going to have his double standard. But you couldn't take a joke about sex?
How about this,
and you're
Jenk?
a dude?
How about this? You
see what I'm saying?
I get what your argument is, but I don't think you're putting yourself in their shoes. So let's say, for instance, you're not an employer, right? You're an employee, and you are a lower level employee, and you're looking to get promoted. And the place is run by women, okay? All of the upper management consists of women. And you hear them openly talking about like, oh, did you see Chris? Did you see Chris Matthews? So much better looking than Jenk, right? We're going to give Chris Matthews the raise. We're going to give him the promotion. And they don't say it explicitly, but they imply it.
Seriously, look, if they're using it as a form of promotion, etc., and they're discriminating against you because they're like, Jenk, he's a little rotund, so we got an issue, so we're not going to promote him. Yeah, of course that sucks, right? But if they're, playing ass slap football and they're like, then I was having sex with that guy and then I was deriding him or whatever, and I happened to hear that, I'd be like, so what? Have at it,
What if it's an everyday thing and it's distracting, though?
Oh, come on. How distracting could it be? Oh, then I was doing this to him, and then he did it to me this way. I mean, okay.
That's not distracting? I can't think of anything that's more distracting than that.
If that's your boss and she wants to tell you about it, I mean, it could be weird. It could be a little creepy, whatever. Yeah. But it's not something that I'd, take to management and be like, I'm really uncomfortable. This kind of frank sex talk has made me really verklempt. Okay, so now if you do, I get it, and of course you have to apply the same standards to men and women. I'm not going to hate on you for it. I'm just going to go, really? That's all. I'm allowed to say that, aren't I?
But I feel like at TYT we live in a bubble. Like there's sex talk constantly. There's like, we look at porn for research, like that kind of stuff. Like every single day. But at a different workplace, like you're doing accounting, right? You're doing accounting. You're doing your numbers. You're crunching those numbers up.
Okay, last thing on this. Look, I know. You're crunching the numbers up. Are you kidding me? The sex talk's going to be 1,000,000 times better. You have any idea how bored you are crunching numbers? Yeah. Like, is somebody, you're talking about orgies? Listen, I'm busy crunching numbers. Okay, that sentence has never been said. Okay, and so let's say you and Irina at the office are talking about the Olympic divers, and you're like, whoa, look at that package. I'd like to dive into that. Okay, I'd be like, yeah, so what? I mean, if one of the guys, Ida Roller, comes by and says, I felt really uncomfortable about that, like, dude, man up. Okay, how ripe for a lawsuit am I?
What if the women are making comments about your appearance, right? Like, oh, you know, your ass is looking tight in those jeans today.
Yeah.
Like, is that acceptable? Is a guy considered weak if he complains about that to management?
Did I say that out loud? I didn't say anything, did I? Oh, come on. Look, Les, keep it real, okay? Women have a rightful concern when somebody says, oh, you got a tight ass, etc. There's issues of sexual assault, uncomfortable. All those things are absolutely real. If a woman says to a guy, you got a tight ass, 99.5% of the time, the guy's going to be like, yes! Do you see what I'm saying? I've never had a woman compliment my looks where I thought, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable.